Your Sims are people, right? And they can learn things just like we can learn things. But how do you get them to learn things? Hi, hey, hello, my name is Sarah and welcome back to The Sims 4 for beginners. If you're new to The Sims 4, you're still learning all of the features, how to play the game, well, here I am ready to help you along your Sims journey. I've made a few other videos in the Sims 4 for Beginners series, so if you'd like to check them out, I highly recommend that. I go through looking at your Sims needs and how to fix them, having relationships with other Sims, all of the controls of the Sims. So it's been very in-depth, and today is going to be no different because today I've decided that I'm going to show you all of the skills that are available in the Sims 4 base game and how to have your Sims learn those skills. So with that being said, let's jump into the Sims 4 and let's have our Sims learn. I do have a new couple to introduce you to. So here we do have Leon Bullock and his wife Natalie Bullock. They are married. They live in this very cute little quaint mid-century home in Oasis Springs. That is who we are going to be playing with today, having a look at raising some of their skills. The first skill I'm going to mention is one that every single Sim is probably going to need to learn. It is the cooking skill. Just like you and I, our Sims have to eat. They've got to learn how to cook. So I'm going to have Leon come to the kitchen. We are going to get him cooking. But very importantly, just before we learn how to cook, I need to mention your Sims moods for a second, because throughout the Sims 4 for Beginners series, I've mentioned that there's multiple different moods our Sims can feel. They can feel happy, sad, angry, embarrassed. They can feel confident. They can feel focused. They can feel inspired. They can feel flirty. All of these different things that they can feel. When it comes to learning skills, the mood that our Sim is in can impact their ability to learn skills. So for each different skill I'm going to be mentioning in this video that we are going to learn today, I am also going to be showing you the ideal mood that we want our Sim to be feeling in order to gain that skill quicker. We're going to firstly, I know I made Leon make his way to the kitchen, but I'm actually going to have Leon make his way to the bathroom. I'm going to get him to have a shower because the mood that is ideal for gaining the cooking skill faster is an inspired mood. So in order to gain an inspired mood, there's multiple ways you can do it. The easiest way that I find to gain an inspired mood is to have them take a thoughtful shower. A long shower can really get the inspiration flowing, which will change his mood from feeling fine to feeling inspired. And there we go. His mood has become inspired. So the moodlet we have down here says, shower inspiration from taking a shower. The shower is a great place to let your thoughts wander. So this mood lasts for 4 hours. So we have 4 hours to really gain the cooking skill as much as we can to have the skill gain be boosted. So now that he's in this inspired mood, I'm going to get him to cook a meal. I'm going to get him to come and click on the fridge. This is the way to gain the cooking skill, like the most normal way. There are other ways which I will show you in just a moment as well. But importantly, with the cooking skill, when we first start, we're going to have a pretty limited menu on what we can actually cook. So I might get him to make a garden salad. Let's get him to make a family-sized garden salad, which will make 4 servings of garden salad. So I'm then, now while he's about to start, I'm just going to navigate to the bottom right of the screen. We have the light bulb here, which is the skills tab. At the moment, it says Leon has no skills, but that's about to change because he's about to learn the cooking skill. So now you can see as he started chopping some tomatoes, we have cooking down here. So hovering over the skill will show you a basic summary of what the skill is. And obviously we can also see there is a stove, there is a barbecue. There's also a weird fandangled machine next to the barbecue there. That's actually a cupcake making station. I'll show you what that is in a second. Oh, interestingly enough though, this is something that happens sometimes. Because Leon is in a good mood while he's cooking, he's decided that maybe that's something he likes doing. So cooking is delectable. Flip those flapjacks, toss that sauce. Leon is in his element. Does he want to gobble up this opportunity to embrace that he likes cooking? And I'm going to say yes, because he does also have the Master Chef aspiration. So that's totally fine. Also, go, now that he has started gaining the cooking skill, we've got this message that's popped up in the top right of the screen to say he's acquired the cooking skill. Leon's new skill in cooking will allow him to prepare delicious, straightforward classics. Yum! The higher the skill level, the more recipes become unlocked. And that's what I was trying to say before. The more skill you learn, the more recipes become unlocked, which is really, really cool. So this message in the top right will come up when your sim begins learning any new skill. It'll say acquired the whatever skill, and it'll give a basic summary on what that means for the sim. So we're just going to get Leon to finish cooking this meal. And as you can see, while he's doing it, we have this cooking bar highlighted. That means he is currently learning the skill. And if we hover over this bar that's slowly filling with green, we can see it's getting 29-30% complete for the first level of the cooking skill. The cooking skill is one that goes to level 10. The majority of the skills in The Sims 4 go to level 10, but there are some that come with expansion packs and add-ons that go to level 5. So he's finished cooking that meal though, and you'll see we jumped up from like 28% to 82%. So that is amazing. We gained that so quick thanks to our inspired mood, but I want him to do some more cooking. I want him to learn other ways. Getting a barbecue is another great way to learn the cooking skill. So I'm going to grab a barbecue, chuck it out here. Maybe I will get Leon to really quickly come and grill something. So grilling something is slightly different to making a meal in the kitchen, because grilling something on the barbecue makes a guaranteed 8-serving platter. So you can't choose whether you want to make only 4 servings or 1 individual serving. It's going to make 8 servings of a meal. So why don't we make some hamburgers? Let's do that. I'm just going to get him to pop his salad in the fridge. No worries, no worries. Nice. Look at him grilling away. And as we can see above his head, we've got the plumb bob here, which lets us know that we are controlling him. This is the skill bar above our sim's head. We can see the fry pan here means that we are gaining the cooking skill. And as it fills up to the top, that's how close we are getting to the next level, which we're about to get it. There we go. So Leon has reached level 2 of the cooking skill, it says, and up the top it has also let us know in the top right that we have reached level 2 of the cooking skill. He has finished making the burgers though. Look at you go, my guy. We are at 31% of level 2 of cooking, but there are still other ways that we can learn how to cook. The Sims franchise is kind of known for being a little bit weird and wacky sometimes, and when it comes to the cupcake making machine, it's kind of weird and wacky. It's the Whipped Dream Cupcake Factory. This miracle of confection perfection will heal the wounds of your lonely childhood and make you whole again. Features setting for fruit, filling, or nuts. So this is essentially somewhere you can make cupcakes. And when The Sims 4 first came out, this was the only way that you could make cupcakes. Ever since then, we've had an update that lets you be able to make cupcakes from clicking on the fridge or clicking on the stove. But if we wanted to eat cupcakes back in the day, we had to get this massive freaking machine. So it does also count towards gaining the cooking skill though. So I'm going to get Leon to come and cook cupcakes. Just some classic vanilla cupcakes, no worries. But because he has level 2 of the cooking skill, you see he also has the ability to make these minty mocha cupcakes. As you can see under skill here, it says 2. So the higher the skill level, he'd be able to cook more cupcakes, which is exciting. But come and use this cupcake station, which honestly, you guys, this is actually the first time that I'm using this cupcake station. I've never used it before. So I'm excited to see this go into use. I'm excited for that. It's just a little bit quirky and a little bit wacky and a little bit fandangled, and I kind of love it, not gonna lie. Now, one thing, as I was mentioning before, we do have this skill level bar up here. It has this blue around the outside of it. That is because he is inspired, and when he's inspired, it's gaining the cooking skill faster. So when we have the appropriate skill that's gonna boost the skill faster, it does show that color around the edge of the skill bar. But look, he's made the freaking cupcakes. Fantastic. We can sell them to a local bakery. That's interesting. I didn't know that you could sell them. I mean, I feel like we could probably sell them. Let's make $27 today. Fantastic. I love that. We have seen all of the ways that you can gain the cooking skill by actually cooking, but there are still other ways to learn the cooking skills. So how long do we have left? We have 2 hours left on this inspired mood. We're going to head inside and we're going to click on the TV, because just like in real life how there's cooking shows that you and I can watch on the TV, our Sims can also watch the cooking channel. So if we go here over to watch channel, click on watch cooking channel, which says aspiring chefs can learn a great deal from watching cooking TV. So we're going to get him to come and watch this channel. Beautiful. So now we have this cooking channel played on the TV. The graphic that we're actually seeing on the TV is actually from The Sims 3, which is the game before The Sims 4. So this kind of graphic style was The Sims 3. So they made these animations in The Sims 3 to play on the TVs in The Sims 4. It's really fun. But he is gaining the cooking skill while he's watching here. Let's have a look at his progress bar going up. So we're at 48% now currently of level 2 of the cooking skill. If your Sim needs to have fun, but you also want them to gain the cooking skill, I recommend this way because they're going to have fun while watching TV and gain the skill at the same time. But if you're looking at gaining the skill as fast as you can, cooking meals is the quickest way because they're going to have a massive boost when they finish cooking a meal. And the last way that I have of learning the cooking skill, we're going to head over to this bookshelf because we have the option to purchase books. And if we come into this screen and we have a look, these are all of the books that are available. There's so many, oh my goodness. But if we come up here, we can filter by the type of book that we would like to buy. We're going to buy a book, and we do have skill as an option here. So if we click on skill, it's going to then show us all of the skill books that we have here. You can get a skill book for every single skill that I'm going to be mentioning in this video. So if we come up here, we do have 3 separate books for cooking. So we've got Cooking Volume 1, Let's Cook. It's the beginner's guide to cooking. So I'm pretty sure the first volume covers skill levels 1 to 4. And then after level 4 of cooking, once they reach level 4 of cooking, they won't be able to read Volume 1 anymore to gain the skill. You've got to then go up to Cooking Volume 2. And I'm pretty sure Cooking Volume 2 covers levels 4 to level 7. And then once we get, I'm pretty sure it's level 7. It's either level 7 or level 8. And then after that, we've got to get the volume 3. So we're going to get volume 1 because we still only have level 2 of the cooking skills. So that's fantastic. And we've purchased that book. So if we open the bookcase now, there it is, Cooking Volume 1, Let's Cook. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to get Leon to come and read that while he is still feeling inspired. So he's sitting down on the couch, he's got the book, we can see he's got the skill level with the fry pan above it to let us know he's gaining the cooking skill. And we also do have the blue haze around the outside of the level bar to let us know that the inspired mood is boosting this skill gain. But while we've still got Leon in an inspired mood and while we're looking at cooking, there is another type of cooking skill that we can gain. It's called the Gourmet cooking skill. Interestingly enough, you can only start learning the Gourmet cooking skill once you reach level 5 of the normal cooking skill. So you've actually got to learn to cook before you can learn to make fancy meals through Gourmet cooking. And look at that, all of a sudden Leon has reached level 5 of the cooking skill because I actually did a little bit of a cheat to get him to level 5 of the cooking skill so I can show you the Gourmet cooking skill. If you'd like to learn more about cheats in The Sims 4, I do intend on making a Sims 4 for beginners video on all of the cheats that we can use in our day-to-day gameplay. So that will be coming eventually, so hit the subscribe button if you haven't already so that you don't miss out on when that video comes out. But Leon has reached cooking level 5. He's learned the recipe for French toast and fish and chips. He also unlocked the Gourmet cooking skill and will receive the competent cook moodlet when cooking. If I click on the fridge now, we've got the option to not only cook a meal, a normal meal, but we've got cook a gourmet meal. And these are the options that we can make immediately with only the very basics of the skill. So maybe we'll make some caprese salad. I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. I'm so sorry if I'm not. I'm going to make a family size of that, no worries. And it's going to be like the same animations that we saw before when he made the garden salad. He's just going to be chopping some tomatoes and all of that stuff. But it is just going to be gaining now the Gourmet skill cooking. So the Gourmet skill cooking is symbolized by the chef's hat that you see here. And it has its own separate skill bar. So having a look here, he's just finished making the caprese salad. He's up to 54% of level 1 of Gourmet cooking. Gourmet cooking is another one that also has 10 levels, so that's totally fine. you can see where your sim is at by the level here on the side. So he's at level 5 of cooking and he's at level 1 of gourmet cooking. And then having a look at the bookshelf, we also have the options to buy gourmet cooking skill books as well. Let's maybe have a look at Natalie though. So another skill that is very beneficial to have in The Sims 4 is the charisma skill. What is charisma though? It's kind of the gift of the gab, if you've heard that expression before. It is the ability to socialize well with people, essentially. It's also quite a common skill that needs to be gained throughout a Sim's career as well as the charisma skill. So we're going to come into our Sim's bedroom here. You'll see we've got a mirror here. We use a mirror in order to gain the charisma skill. If we have a look, practice speech is the option to gain the charisma skill, but I'm actually going to do something else with the mirror first, because just like the cooking skill and the gourmet cooking skill, there is an ideal mood to gain the charisma skill, and it is a confident mood. So how do we get our sim into a confident mood? Well, we have this option on a mirror to psych self up. Some encouraging words can boost a sim's confidence. So if I get Natalie to come and psych herself up in the mirror, that should make her feel confident. There we go. So now we have this moodlet psyched up from psyching self up. A pep talk gets you revved up and ready to go, even when it's a pep talk from yourself. So that lasts for 3 hours. So if we now click on the mirror and go practice speech, which has this little blue sliver next to it, anytime you see one of these interactions that has a little slither of color next to it, it means that it's being impacted by our sim's mood. So practice speech here, and now we have the charisma skill that is down here for her, symbolized by these funky sunglasses. Interestingly enough for this one, the haze around the outside is not a blue, but maybe that's because the inspired mood is also blue, and maybe that's confusing. I don't know, but it is definitely impacting the charisma skill. Basically, either having your sim in a confident mood or in a happy mood will gain the charisma skill really nicely. We do, if we head over to the bookshelf and we filter by skills, we do have the option to have Charisma Volume 1, Charisma Volume 2, and Charisma Volume 3. So when we reach level 2 of the charisma skill, we now have the ability to perform Brighten Day on Sims. Brighten Day is an interaction, and it's an interaction that is done as a part of socializing, which is the other way, the last way to gain the charisma skill. If I click on Leon really quickly, here is Brighten Day. So you can see we have Brighten Day here. It has the sunglasses symbol next to it, which lets us know that doing this interaction is going to gain the charisma skills. Okay, so I don't know where Brighten Day went. It went away, but there is another one that we can do as well. Compliments here. We can compliment his outfit, which also gains the charisma skill. So she's just complimented his outfit, which took us from 2% of level 2 of the charisma skill to 5% of level 2 of the charisma skill. Fantastic. And just like the cooking skill, the higher our charisma skill, the more social interactions we're going to be able to do with other Sims. So I just wanted to confirm with you, I don't think the information I was given is correct. She's in a happy mood now. There is no highlight around the skill bar here, which the highlight around the skill bar is what lets you know that the skill gain is being boosted by a mood. That's not happening for this right now. And it's not gaining particularly quickly. So I don't know. I still think that the confident mood is the way to go when speaking in the mirror, because it has the highlight around the skill bar level. So however, if your sim is in a happy mood and they socialize with another sim, the social interactions that have the charisma sunglasses symbol will boost the charisma skill more while they are feeling happy. So in the end, I feel it's ideal to boost the charisma skill talking in the mirror when they're feeling confident and when they're socializing with other sims while feeling happy. Alright, but back to Leon though, who has just, again, got himself in an inspired mood, because there are a lot of skills in The Sims 4 that require an inspired mood to boost the skill gain. But having a look at Leon's skills, because we had that interaction with Natalie, he's actually also got a little bit of charisma skill now. But the next skill that I want to show you is the Mixology Skill. So we've done cooking and gourmet cooking, then there's the art of mixology, making drinks. So we have a bar here. This is the physical object that we use use to be able to gain the mixology skill. You can find bars in the dining room category of build by mode. So here is our bar. You can put bar stools in front of it if you like. I'm not going to, just for the purposes of this video. We have the option, if we click on this bar, and we can see make drink. Being inspired helps with making drinks because he has an inspired mood. Also practice making drinks, even though it doesn't have the blue, I'm pretty sure it does also gain quicker by practice making drinks with an inspired mood as well. But we're going to make a drink. We are going to have this menu come up to choose what kind of drink we would like to make. And again, just like the cooking and the gourmet cooking skills, the higher our mixology skill, the more drink recipes we are going to have unlocked. So I'm going to maybe I'll make a sweet and spicy. Let's do that one. And just like the cooking skill, the mixology skill also has a lot of little random animations that happen while our Sims are making the drink. So we do have the little drink tumbler and the lime as the symbol for the mixology skill. And after he's finished making that sweet and spicy drink, he reached 21% of level 1 of the mixology skill. I just want to see about practice making drinks, because practice making drinks, he's not actually going to make a drink. He's just going to do this same kind of animations over and over again. We can see the blue around the skill bar, so practice making drinks also is boosting the mixology skill with the inspired mood. So if you don't want to spend the money on making drinks over and over again, you can just have your sim practice, and it's also going to gain the skill really quickly with the inspired mood. And then, of course, the last way to gain the mixology skill is by going to the purchase books, the skill books, and we do have Mixology Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. But we are actually going to be hanging around with Leon for a little bit because he's in an inspired mood. I think I'm just going to show you all of the skills that require an inspired mood to boost the skill gain. So the next one that we've got is the painting skill. It requires an easel. So we do have an easel here, and we can create a classic painting. Being inspired helps with painting, thank you very much. We have the option to create different size paintings that are different prices. So obviously a small canvas only costing 50 simoleons, whereas a large canvas costing 100 simoleons. And it does also take a longer time to create a large classic painting than it does a small classic painting. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to create a small classic painting. And there we go, we have our small canvas. We have the artist paintbrush and all of the paints there as the symbol. When we have low painting skill, the paintings aren't going to be very good, right? But if we get higher in the painting skill, our paintings are going to become better quality. We can even paint masterpiece paintings that can sell for multiple thousands of simoleons. So we do have the blue haze around the skill bar letting us know that the inspired mood is impacting this skill gain, which is fantastic. We are painting a little flower apparently, which is very, very nice. Beautiful. So we have just finished this painting. We got to 54% of level 1. And if I click on that painting, we've got the option firstly to frame it. We can also name it if we like. I'm going to call it Pink Flower because obviously. And then we can sell that to a collector for 62 simoleons. So let's sell that. So we made $12 profit on that painting. But the other thing that I need to mention with the painting skill is when we first start, we only have the option to create classic paintings. As we get higher and higher in the painting skill, we're going to be able to create other types of paintings like abstract paintings. There we go. So Leon can now discuss color theory with other Sims, which is a social interaction, because as our Sims are gaining skill, they can also talk about these skills that they're gaining with other Sims as well. You'll be able to see it when we click on Natalie, for example, and we can see here, discuss color theory, and it has the little painting symbol next to it, letting us know that that is a painting related interaction, and it's something you can only do if you have the skill yourself. Another way to gain the painting skill, we do also have this little thing on the bar here. This is a sketch pad. Just like we can get sketch pads in real life as well as a part of the base game, we can make paintings from this sketch pad, and it's going to be like a digital painting. So because we have level 3 now of the painting skill, we can choose between a classic painting, an illustrative painting, and a pop art painting. So I'm going to maybe do a pop art painting. We'll do a small pop art painting on the sketch pad as well. And you'll see he is going to be doing some sketching on that right now. Fantastic. When The Sims 4 first came out, this sketch pad was not a part of the game. It was introduced later on, and it's It's a more expensive option than an easel, so I still think the easel is the way to go if you don't have very much money, but this is so much more portable. The easels are also portable. You can take them anywhere in your Sims inventory, but this is just a more portable way in the sense of you don't actually need to place it down. You can just take it out of your Sims pocket. So he's just finished that painting. We do have this painting to sell for 137 simoleons, which I can sell by clicking that down here through the inventory and selling it that way. No worries. You may have also noticed a paint from reference option on the sketch pad. If you use that option, you'll take a photo of your Sim's surroundings through their phone and they'll paint that picture on the sketch pad. You can also paint from reference on the easel as well if you have high enough painting skill. And then, like all the other skills, we do have Painting Volume 1, Painting Volume 2, and Painting Volume 3 in the bookcase to be able to purchase as well. Alright, but it is the dawn of a new day, and we do have Leon inspired once again, and we also have a grand piano in our backyard. It's totally fine. So we have multiple different instruments. I still wish there was more. We do have the piano skill first of all. You need a piano. In the base game, we only have this massive grand piano. It's totally fine. We have the option to practice. So being inspired improves piano playing is what it says. No worries. Let's come and do that then, Leon. Look, honestly me. So now that we've got the beginnings of the piano skill, when our Sim first starts learning to play the piano, a bit like you or I, maybe they're not the best of it. They're learning how to place their fingers. At the moment, he's playing like this. So he's got to learn how to place his fingers. Right? So as he gets higher in the piano skill, his playing is going to sound better and he's going to be able to have more interactions with the piano skill. Eventually you can write songs and post them in the mail to receive royalties on like all of the musical instruments. It's fascinating. So we do have the piano here to symbolize the piano skill, the blue haze around the skill level bar to show that that is being boosted by the mood, and we have gained 26% of the piano skill. And of course, in the bookcase, we can purchase Piano Volume 1, Piano Volume 2, and Piano Volume 3 books to read as well. The next musical instrument that we can learn how to play with the inspired mood boosting the skill gain is a violin. Look at this very pretty little violin. We can practice that. Being inspired improves violin playing, and it's going to be very similar to the piano. Look, I think his face says it all. What I meant by it being similar to the piano is when your Sim first starts learning to play the violin, it's not going to be great at it. They need to learn how to play it. So it's going to sound really bad when they start playing. And it's even going to make an impact if there's other Sims in the area and they can hear the Sim playing the instrument not very well. It's going to give them a mood to say, oh my goodness, I'm listening to a Sim play this instrument badly. So it's interesting. But we are gaining the violin skill, which is indicated above our Sim's head by the violin here and the blue haze around the bar to show that we are gaining it nicely thanks to the inspired mood. And then of course we do have Violin Volume 1, Violin Volume 2 and Violin Volume 3 to be purchased from the bookshelf. And the last instrument that we have to learn how to play is a guitar. So we have this beautiful acoustic guitar here. Practicing it, being inspired improves guitar playing. Thank you very much. And just like the other two instruments, it's going to take some time for him to get comfortable and better at playing the instrument, but we are gaining the guitar skill as indicated above his head by this guitar icon, the blue haze around the skill bar showing us that it is being boosted by his inspired mood. And then we do have Guitar Volume 1, Guitar Volume 2, and Guitar Volume 3 available for purchase through the bookshelf. Heading back inside with Leon though, we do have this little office and we have a computer here. Our Sims have the option to write books. So we have write over here. Being inspired helps with writing. At the moment we can practice writing, which is going to gain the writing skill without actually writing a book, or we have the option to actually write a book. So writing a genre book, at the moment we can only write a children's book, but as we get higher in the writing skill, we're going to have more types of books that are able to be written, including like screenplays, movie screenplays, fantasy books, sci-fi novels. It's all really, really exciting. So we are going to write a children's book though for the purposes of this video. I'm going to show you how that is done. Here we are in our office sitting down at the computer. When we start writing a book, we get the option to name the book and write a description for it. So it'll automatically generate a title and a very, very basic description. So you can name it whatever you like. So Tigers Don't Take Naps, I think that's a great name for a book. And you could come up with your own description for the title if you wanted to. I'm not going to for the purposes of this video. Pressing OK means our sim is now writing. We can see on the screen all these words coming up in the document as he's going to start typing away in a second. He's thinking about it, but we are gaining the writing skill down here as indicated by this icon above his head with the sheet of paper and the pen, and we do have the blue highlight around the skill bar to show us that it is being boosted by the inspired mood. I completely forgot to mention, but when your sim finishes writing their book, they'll get a pop-up in the top right of the screen to say that they've finished writing a book. The book will be in their inventory. When you have low writing skill, you have the option to self-publish your book, which will earn a few dollars every day in royalties for a couple of sim weeks. Eventually though, with a higher writing skill, you'll get the option to sell your book to a publisher, which will earn more royalties than self-publishing will. And then, of course, we do have Writing Volume 1, Writing Volume 2, and Writing Volume 3 available for purchase through the bookshelf. Hey! Did you know that 71% of you watching right now are not subscribed to my channel? If you'd like to see some fun Sims build videos, some creator sim videos, some Sims challenges, and even some gameplay of The Sims past, then hit the subscribe button and become a member of my wonderful little community of Triceratops. With that being said, let's get back to the video. So while we've still got Leon in an inspired mood, the next skill that I have to gain is the photography skill. Now, I don't think the photography skill was originally part of the base game. I think it came later on with an update. Excitingly, there are multiple ways that we can take photos. Firstly, you do not have to have a fancy camera to take photos. Our Sim's phone can take photos much like ours can in real life, right? Peep My Nightmare Before Christmas phone case, by the way. I love it. Anyway, if we come down to the bottom left, we've got Leon's phone right here. We have the camera option here. We've got options to take a selfie, take a photo with someone if there's someone around, take a photo of someone, or just take a general photo of the area. And these things will gain the photography skill. So let's get Leon to take a selfie, right? And this is going to bring up the little camera menu, which is very exciting. With the phone, we have very basic options of what we can do, right? So at the moment I'm just moving my mouse around, but if I find the positioning that I like for Leon, I'm then going to click my mouse, and then if I move my mouse around, it won't move the frame because we've locked the camera's position in place. We can choose whether we want to take a landscape photo or take a portrait photo. I like taking portrait photos, but on the phone it always cuts off the side of the Sim's face, which is interesting. We have the option to turn on flash if it's dark and we might need a little bit of help with some lighting. We can turn the flash on. I'm going to keep the flash off. We also have this option down here, this bar here. If we drag this around, it's going to change the area, like the background of the photo. So I like where it was before, that's fine. We do have this button here, which is filters, because we can add filters to all of our Sims photos. Again, much like real life, we can do all of those things if we like, but I'm going to keep filters off. And then down here, we've got different poses. So at the moment, we've got random poses selected. If I press this button here, which says change pose, it's going to show a different pose. We do also have different poses that can be chosen based on the mood we want our Sims photo to have. So whether it be a relaxed mood, or a goofy mood, maybe a flirty mood, maybe even a sad mood, or an excited mood. That was more goofy than excited, honestly. A thoughtful mood, or an angry mood. When you're ready to take the photo, there's multiple things that we can do. We can press the C button, which will take a photo, or you can press the camera button. Now, importantly, when you're taking a photo, you have 5 photos that you can take of the same thing. It says down here, photos remaining 3 now because we have taken 2 photos already. I recommend taking the full 5 photos, especially at the beginning of your photography skill journey, because when we have low skill, the first photos we're going to take are going to come out blurry, or they're going to have like a thumb in the way, or they're going to have a black spot, or they're going to have a random gnome appear appear in the photo. I recommend taking 5 of the same photo so that you can hopefully have at least one of them turn out really nice. So if we go into our Sims inventory, you'll see these cameras. We'll get to them in just a second. You'll also see this stack of photos. So let's come out to a wall and let's see if these photos turned out any good. No gnomes or anything to be seen. Well, that's fantastic. With that being said, that's photos from a phone. Let's talk about the cameras though. There are 3 different cameras that all range in price that you can buy for your Sims to take photos. The first one is the Barely Better digital camera. It is only 75 simoleons, I think. It's showing 68, but it's depreciated because we're in live mode. So it's gonna take slightly better quality photos than your phone, but not super great quality. So let's use that one to take a photo. Okay, so maybe I want to get a photo of like this here with the rock formations, the trees and stuff. I like that for a landscape photo. So I'm gonna just press the C button and we're gonna take 5 of the same photo, just in case any of them are blurry or have like gnomes in them or something. Let's take a look. Okay, well, I'm trying to take photos so that I can show you the freaking gnomes and stuff, but then they're not showing up. So we can like add a frame to them, any color frame that is here. I'm going to choose black, and then we can even sell these photos. We've got options to sell them to a publication, which is interesting, or you can just click and drag them through your inventory to sell them that way. So I'm going to sell these photos, but I'm going to keep one of them and I'm going to keep one of the selfies as well. All right, so these are our photos we've got so far, right? They're pretty small. Once we get into a better camera, say for example maybe the appreciably average digital camera, which is slightly more expensive, I think it's around 500 simoleons, I can't exactly remember. If we take a photo using this one, you'll see, let me just find something I want to take a photo of, maybe these buildings in the distance, maybe that would be nice. We have the option to zoom out and zoom in. We also have the ability to change the size of photo with this camera. So it starts with a small photo. We're going to take a medium photo this time and we're going to have a look at the size difference. So I am going to just press the C button or the camera button. And I should just check in as well with the skill, right? Because we are currently at 58% of level 1 of the photography skill, which is exciting. But let's have a look at these photos. So let's grab them out, pop them on the wall. You can see they are much bigger than the ones we had taken just before. We still don't have any with gnomes in them, which is very interesting. So I can't show you them being super bad quality at the moment, I'm sorry. But then we do have the best camera, the crystal clear digital camera. This one's at least 2,000 simoleons. It might be 2,500 simoleons. So it's an investment. But when we take a photo with this one, I mean, we have the option to zoom in even further than before and zoom out even further than before. And we have 3 size options for our photos. We've got small, medium, or large. So I'm going to take a large photo with this one just so I can show you the size comparison. So that's the different way that we can take photos. And like I said, you can add frames to them all if you like different frames. All of these photos that you take with these cameras will also be in your screenshots folder. I think there's actually a visual glitch with photos at the moment because when I view the photos in my screenshots folder, I can now give you an example of bad quality photos. I don't know why they don't show as bad quality in game, but we definitely had some bad quality photos because of our low photography skill. Haha, interesting though. I just went to come in here and say, and of course you can get photography volume 1, but there's not. This is the only skill that does not have a book. So you've got to actually take photos to learn the photography skill. That's interesting. So they are all the skills that are boosted by an inspired mood. We are now going to take a look at all of the skills that are boosted by a focused mood because there are a lot of skills that we can learn in The Sims 4 that are also gained by a focused mood. The first one, the most basic and the most obvious, is the logic skill. So the logic skill, it's logical, I don't know. So I'm going to switch over to Natalie. So we're going to get her in a focus mood. There are multiple ways to get into a focus mood. This one I feel is the easiest. If we click on a chess table, we've got multiple options. You can play chess, which we will be very soon. You can play chess with someone else if you like. But then there's ponder moves. Pondering chess moves can focus the mind. It is the easiest way to get into a focus mood, honestly, which actually very excitingly, has already started gaining the logic skill. You can see above her head, she has this chess piece, meaning she's learning the logic skill. Because she's not feeling focused, she doesn't have a purple haze around the bar, meaning that skill is not currently being boosted. There we go. So now she's feeling focused. A mental workout from pondering chess moves. Studying chess moves makes you a better player, works out your brain, and sharpens your focus. So now that we have that, she stopped playing chess, but if we click here back on the chessboard, the options to play and to play with a sim will be boosted by the purple. Little slither of purple being focused helps with chess. So let's get her to play chess now. And we can see now we do have the same little chess symbol at the top to let us know it's a logic skill we are gaining, but it now has a purple ring around the skill bar, letting us know that the logic skill is being boosted by this focus mood. And she's just going to play chess. She's just going to continue to play chess, and even once she finishes playing chess against herself, essentially, she's just going to start all over again until we tell her to stop. So we're going to cancel out of that now because there's a couple of other options that we can use in order to gain the logic skill. So this message just before about the logic skill, it mentioned the microscope and the observatory. And my friends, this is the observatory that it is talking about. This is the backyard observatory. Again, erring on the side of weird and wacky, kind of like the cupcake machine. We have this massive freaking telescope, essentially. So when The Sims 4 was first released, this was the only telescope that we had. We do have another telescope now, thankfully, a normal sized telescope, but the backyard observatory gets a lot of flack because it's so big, but I think it's really cool because you can get collectibles from observing the sky here. You can also woohoo and try for baby in the observatory. So observing the sky is what we're going to do. Being focused helps with logical activities, but the collectibles that we can get are like these prints of space, and they're really, really pretty. Again, I want to make a video on all of the collectibles that you can get in the base game as well, so that will also be coming soon. We are probably going to see an example of some of them very, very soon, but here we go. She's going to get into the backyard observatory right now. And there we go. It's off doing its thing. And above the telescope part of the observatory, we do have the little chess piece symbol letting us know it is the logic skill being gained. The purple ring around the skill bar to let us know that it is being boosted by the focused mood. The longer your sim spends in the backyard observatory, we'll get a special pop-up soon. I think we've just got that special pop-up which says, "Congratulations, a collectible print of the sky has been added to Natalie's inventory." There, this is the print that we just got from looking through the observatory. That is beautiful. There are so many different prints as a part of this collectible. They have a focusing decor, which I haven't even talked about decor, but you know how we have the ways to get our sims feeling a particular mood, like we pondered the moves on the chessboard to have our sim feel focused. Well, there's specific pieces of decor that can also make your sims feel moods. So having this print up on the wall is going to help to make our sim feel focused. So that's really cool. We can also sell this print for 105 simoleons, which is what I am going to do. So that's why I really like the backyard observatory. It's fantastic. But having a look at the smaller version, we do have just the telescope over here. We have the option to moon gaze or stargaze at night, but observing the sky during the day, the same as before, being focused helps with logical activities. But you can see here, she's now just looking through the normal telescope. We do have the chess piece symbol to let us know it is the logic skill she's gaining. The purple haze around the skill bar. Fantastic. I don't think it has the ability to gain the prints like the backyard observatory does. So if you're looking at completing those space prints, you will need to have the backyard observatory for that. But then the other thing that was mentioned was a microscope. Now, you might be thinking of a microscope that you have seen in real life, right? The little thing that has the binocular things and you put the slide on and you kind of zoom in on it like that. The little thing being the key word, because the Sims 4 microscope is freaking gigantic. You know, I swear they just wanted to make everything massive in the base game when The Sims 4 was first released. It's totally fine. So this is the microscope here. Your Sims sit in the chair. It is like an industrial strength microscope apparently. So this is what we're going to use. If we have a plant that we can get from the gardening skill, which I will be talking about the gardening skill in just a moment. If we have like a sample from a plant, we can analyze that. But using the microscope is also just going to help gain the logic skill. So being focused helps with logical activities. Let's use this microscope, which again, I've never used this microscope before. So it's the first time for everything. Let's see how it goes. Oh, how fancy. See all these slides? How they whipped up like that? And even how like the chair moved and stuff, it was kind of giving me motion simulator for a second there. I love that. We can see the chess piece up here indicating it's the logic skill that's being gained, the purple haze around the skill bar. All of these slides, that's very fascinating. Also, I should just mention as well, we got a moodlet from the Backyard Observatory looking into space in awe of the cosmos. The endless view of the universe can really get a Sim's mind feeling focused, which is also going to have our Sim feeling focused for 3 hours. We have 28 minutes left on this one, but while we're still feeling focused, there is one more way to gain the logic skill. And it is, of course, the Logic Volume 1, Logic Volume 2, and Logic Volume 3 books that are available through the bookshelf. The next skill we're going to focus on that uses the focused mood to boost it is the gardening skill, like I mentioned just before. So our Sims can grow plants, can grow trees, can harvest the fruits and the flowers that are grown and can sell them, or can eat the foods, use them throughout their cooking if they like. We've got these different planters here. We've got these little round planters and we've got a planter box. We also have these little packets that you'll see on the ground. These are our starter seeds. We've got some starter flowers, which will have some flower seeds, some starter fruits, some starter herbs, and we do have some starter vegetables. So we're going to open all of these seed packets and we're going to see what seeds we can plant. So if we go into our Sims inventory now, oh my goodness, have a look right here. I'm going to drag this up to have a look. These are all of the things that we can plant in our pots here. We've got some spinach. We've got some sage, we've got some basil, we've got some chrysanthemums, we've got some bluebells, some tomatoes, some strawberries, and some mushrooms. Fantastic. I was hoping we would have something that could grow into a tree though. That's interesting. But what I might do, I might start with these little planters first. These little round planters can only fit one thing in there. So I'm going to maybe grab a tomato and pop it in there. I'm going to grab a strawberry and pop it in there. And then maybe I'll grab a chrysanthemum and pop it in this one. So we're going to have a tomato, strawberry, and chrysanthemum here. These big square planters, they can fit 4 individual small plants or one thing that's going to grow into a tree. So for example, I could put down one thing of spinach in this corner, one sage in this corner, one basil in this corner, and one mushroom in this corner. We could plant them and have 4 different smaller bushes, but I'm kind of going to hold off because I want to see if maybe I can find something in the neighborhood that I can use to plant a tree. We can gain the gardening skill by doing these at home, but also in our neighborhood around us, there's going to be plants hanging around. So you can see here, we do have the beginnings of a cherry tree. I'll have to probably wait a couple of days for the trees to grow, but you'll see we also have a chrysanthemum bush here. Over here, we've got a strawberry bush. We've got some more chrysanthemums. So there's all of these different plants laying around in the world. Oh, it looks like we've got some onions over here. We didn't get onions in our seedlet packet, so I might get my Sim to come over here. I'm going to get her to harvest these onions. So going around to all of the plants in our neighborhood is going to go towards gaining the gardening skill. And then we can also find things that we did not get in our basic seed packets as well, which is a bonus. We've got some carrots over here. I'm going to get her to harvest the carrots as well. All right, here we go. We're over to this onion plant and she's picked the onions. You can see above her head, we've got this little digger. What's that called? I don't know. But we've got this tiny little shovel and this tiny little rake. Is it a trowel? I don't know. I'm not a gardener. That's the icon for the gardening skill. So we've got Natalie's new skill in gardening will allow her to plant, water, weed, and harvest. New interactions and advanced techniques are unlocked at higher levels. And gardening can actually get really, really intricate in the later levels. Like you can splice different things together to create a whole new plant entirely. It can get really, really intricate. You can fertilize plants to make them higher quality. You can evolve them to make higher quality. It is a bit of an art form in and of itself. So beautiful. She's just harvested those carrots. So harvesting those 2 things has gotten us to 8% of level 1. But now that we've got those things, I'm going to head home back to our house over here and back to our planters. So I might actually plant some of our things. Like we've got some carrots now and some onions that I would like to plant. So I might do carrot here, I might do a mushroom here, I might do an onion here, and we'll do some spinach as well in this. And we're going to plant all of these things. And then I am also going to buy another one of these planter boxes so that when we are able to get cherries, we'll be able to have a cherry tree in its own planter as well. So you'll find them in the outdoors section and outdoor activities. And literally you can see that's what it is here. We do have the small planters here, the planter boxes here, and also all of the seed packets that I bought as well. So we're going to get another planter box, thank you very much. But right now, what I'm going to get Natalie to do is I'm going to get her to come home. We're going to click on one of these things ready to plant, and we're going to press the plant button, which is going to work on the gardening skill. So here we go. She's going to plant this little mushroom plant into the ground, to make a mushroom plant. And it's going to just start off looking like this little dirt mound. She's going to go through and she's going to plant all the things we've got available to plant. And it is working on the gardening skill, and you can see by the purple haze that it's being boosted by the focus skill. We already have the beginnings of our mushroom plant coming through, which is fantastic. We haven't even watered them yet. And over to the little planter bowls is what I call them, planter bowls. Fantastic. So look at all of the skill that we've gained. We're up to 43% of gardening level 1. That's just the planting though, because like in real life, we have to take care of our plants. So if I click on any of these little mounds right now, we have the ability to water them. Eventually they're going to have weeds around them. They're going to need to be weeded. Eventually as well, they might also develop like flies. They might need to be sprayed. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not super familiar with the gardening skill because I don't do it very often. So we're going to water all of these plants first though, which will also go towards gaining the gardening skill being boosted by our focused mood. So at the moment, that's all we can do for our plants right now, right? Because we need to wait for them to grow a little bit more. So we got those seeds from Build Buy, but there is also an option to order seeds from the computer. If we click on the computer, grow more choices until you see the order, and then we can purchase seeds. And it's going to give us the option to buy those same seed packets. But the higher our gardening skill becomes, we're going to be able to find different seed packets. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments down below, my fellow professional Sims players. That would be lovely. Thank you. Have a look at our plants. Oh my goodness. So we saw the little sprouting mushrooms here before. We do have the beginnings of our carrot plant and the beginnings of our strawberry bush. Oh, that's exciting. Look at our plants now. You'll see we've got mushrooms that we can harvest. The rest of our plants are still growing, but if we click on these mushrooms, we can sell them straight from the plant, or we can harvest them to then use them for our cooking, which is fantastic. And even like harvesting the mushrooms goes towards gaining the gardening skill. Oh, was our basil ready as well? Was that spinach? Our spinach? We got spinach as well? Hovering over the plant will tell you sort of like the quality. So spinach bushes are chock full of leafy nutrients. It's currently a normal quality. You can see that it has like a green progress bar. So the more we take care of this plant, the more that we water it, that we weed it, we take care of it, it's going to eventually become a higher quality plant. We can do other interactions to make it better, eventually fertilizing and stuff as well. Once our gardening skill gets higher, we can unlock some of those interactions. But look, the cherry tree over here has grown. So if I come and I harvest these cherries, beautiful. So we've just got some cherries from that cherry tree. Growing a cherry tree in this planter box, you'll see that one just went straight into the middle because we can only fit one berry to plant to grow our cherry tree. There we go. She's planted that. We can give it a water. Beautiful. And eventually we're going to have a cherry tree, which is really cool. Look at all of our bushes. Our bushes have grown. So we've got carrots to harvest, onions to harvest, more spinach, more mushrooms to harvest. We've got strawberries to harvest. We don't quite have any tomatoes to harvest or any chrysanthemums to harvest yet, but that's exciting. So much to harvest. Oh, we've got some chrysanthemums to harvest. Hold on a second. I'm going to get Natalie to come and harvest some stuff. We still don't have our cherry tree grown just yet. Oh, also we need to water our plants. So let's just water our plants really quickly and then I will harvest everything. 350 simoleons from these plants. If you had a massive amount of garden, I mean, it would take a lot of work to maintain that, but you've seen how little work we've had to do so far to get 350 simoleons. And the really good thing is we'll get 350 simoleons every single day, because this time tomorrow there'll be more of these ready to harvest. So It's fantastic. With the cherries in there, it would be super interesting. Let's just see how much these cherries from this tree would give us, so we can kind of gauge how much extra we would get from our cherry tree being grown. Another 80 simoleons. So what, 430 simoleons just from what's in these planters here. Amazing. So quite lucrative. The gardening skill, it would be really, really interesting. When harvesting from our plants or other plants around the neighborhood, if you'd like to use what you've harvested in your cooking, putting those fruits and veggies in the fridge will mean that when you cook a recipe that uses ingredients we've collected from harvesting, it will actually save money when cooking meals, because you'll only have to pay for the ingredients that you don't have to cook that meal in the fridge. If you need a quick boost of your Sim's hunger need, your Sim can also eat fruits and veggies right out of their pocket. It won't completely cure their hunger need, but if you're desperately hungry with no money to cook or no time to cook, then it's an option. Of course, if you want to gain the gardening skill but you're not quite so invested in growing a garden yourself, we do have Gardening Volume 1, Gardening Volume 2, and Gardening Volume 3 available to purchase from the bookshelf. The next skill that we're going to be looking at is the Handiness Skill. Quite a common thing that gets learnt as well, because as I've mentioned throughout this series, over time, things will break down in your house. Things like your plumbing, your toilets, your sinks, your showers, even things like your stoves and your fridges, your TVs, your computers, they will all break down after constant use. Just like in real life, things break and you can either get them fixed or you can replace them. It is up to you. So having your Sims know the handiness skill is very handy because they can fix those things when they break. So there's multiple ways to gain the handiness skill. The first thing is obviously to fix a broken object. I do not recommend starting with an electronic object though. I recommend if you're going to go down the route of things are broken that need to be fixed, starting with plumbing. So when your toilet breaks or when your shower breaks or when your sink breaks, because they're not going to electrocute your Sim. The other physical way of gaining the handiness skill is through the woodworking table. We have this very, very fancy looking crafting table, essentially, that we can make things on. So if we click on this table, we can craft a sculpture. It says being focused helps with woodworking. Now, at the moment, because we are only right back at the beginning of our handiness endeavors, we can only create either a knife block or a horse sculpture, but the higher in handiness skill that our Sim gets, we'll be able to create more things on the woodworking table. So I might start with a knife block actually. Now this knife block is not going to be functional, it's just going to be purely decorational, but it's a nice thing to have for decor in your Sim's kitchen as well. So here we go. She starts off with a block of wood and the animation is going to show her whittling it down to being a knife block. So she's using a sander at the moment, which was an interesting sound. My teeth didn't particularly like it, but it's fine. And you're going to see this block whittle away. Now above her head, we do have this wrench, which is a wrench or a spanner. Again, I'm not a handy person, I don't know. This is the symbol for the handiness skill, and you can see we do have the purple haze around the skill level bar to show that the focus mood is boosting the handiness skill. Eventually, with the handiness skill as well, the higher our Sim gets in the handiness skill, they'll be able to upgrade certain objects. For example, your toilets, all of the objects that can break, essentially, you can upgrade them to never break again. You can make them unbreakable, but you can also make like plumbing objects to be self-cleaning, so you don't have to clean your toilets, your sinks, your showers anymore. You can make them higher quality so that your Sims have a better experience with those objects. So doing those upgrades to different things will also work on the handiness skill. So it's all goes towards boosting stuff. She did finish the knife block and she put it in her inventory. We can chuck it maybe out on one of the counters here. Fantastic. Look at you. You made that. That's fabulous. And then, of course, if you want to try not to die, like this one says here, we do have the Handiness Volume 1, Handiness Volume 2, and Handiness Volume 3 books available to purchase from the bookshelf. The next skill that I want to show you how to learn, we're actually going to have to leave the lot for. So I'm pressing the M button on my keyboard, the M for map button, and I'm going to come over to the park. Desert Bloom Park, let's go here, because the next skill that I want to show you how to learn is the fishing skill. So sometimes the neighborhood that your Sims are living in, they might have a fishing area around their home. We didn't have a fishing area around our home. So if you don't have a fishing area around your home, you can come to a park because there will will generally be multiple places that we can come and fish, and I am looking at one right now. Here we have this pond. So if we click on this pond, we can go fishing. We can also look for frogs in here, but looking for frogs, I don't think that goes towards gaining your fishing skill. Good cast, and we've just acquired the fishing skill. So Natalie's new skill in fishing allows her to catch fish, mount them on the wall, or keep them in a fish bowl. So fishing is also a part of the collectibles. You can catch all sorts of different fish. Some of them are really quite hard to catch. So we're going to see if Natalie can catch a fish. You can see we've got this icon of the hook with the fish that lets us know it is the fishing skill that is being gained. And the purple around the bar shows us that the focus mood is boosting the fishing skill. She caught a fish! Look at that! We caught a fish. So because we've caught a fish, we get this in our notebook. Our notebook tells us information about things that we have learnt. So how to catch a fish, all of that stuff. So that's recorded information in the notebook. What did we learn? We learned that the minnow can be caught without bait. That's fantastic. We caught a 0.75 kilogram minnow worth 6 simoleons. Fantastic. So we can sell it. And I'm going to sell it for 6 simoleons. So that's catching a fish in the pond though. But then around the world, have a look around the world, because you'll eventually see places like over here that have this little sign. This sign lets us know that this is an area that we can fish at. If we click on this sign, we can go fishing here. Also, fishing while focused increases the likelihood of catching rare fish, which is essential for the fish collection. So this is a great spot, Oasis Springs Park, for collecting rare fish if you are feeling focused like we are for another 3 hours. I think you can kind of tell if the water is like glistening like this, that this is a place that you can catch rare fish from, as well as the sign telling you that you can catch rare fish from here. You caught, is that a koi? She caught a koi. Good job, that's fantastic. What did we learn about the koi? It can also be caught without bait. Fantastic. And that is the thing, because as we go on in the fishing skill, we will be able to fish with bait, and you can use different things like fruits and vegetables to use as bait to catch some of the maybe harder to find rarer fish can be caught with bait. So you will eventually need to use some bait if you're wanting to complete that collection. If you buy a fish bowl or a fish tank, any small fish that your sim catch can be put into that fish bowl and kept as a pet. We can also mount fish that have been caught to use as a wall decoration. It can be an interesting way to display the collection if you're collecting the fish. You can also use specific fish that have been caught in recipes for cooking. In the list of ingredients, some recipes will say any fish, which means that any fish you have in your inventory or in your fridge can be used for that recipe. And then there are some recipes that call for a specific kind of fish to be used in that recipe. But here we are back at home, where I can tell you that Fishing Volume 1, Fishing Volume 2, and Fishing Volume 3 are all available to be purchased through the bookshelf. The next 2 skills that we're going to be looking at are all going to be focused around our computer. So we're going to have a look at our computer. The very first one that we're going to look at is something that's going to gain some fun for our Sims. It is the video gaming skill, one that is close to my heart, as I'm sure it is yours if you're watching this video. So we can play game here, and we've got the option to play Blick Block or play Sims Forever. I think you freaking know I'm going to play Sims Forever, right? Now, starting out at the very beginning, we're going to have a limited amount of games that we can play, but the more we progress in the video gaming skill, we're going to be able to have more games to play. But here she is, she's playing The Sims 1, and I absolutely love that. That's just iconic. So iconic. But if we have a look, she has got the little gaming controller icon, which shows that it is the gaming skill, the video gaming skill that is being gained. The purple haze around the skill bar shows us that the focus mood is indeed boosting this skill. So this is the first way to gain the video gaming skill, but there are other ways to gain the video gaming skill. One, that is handheld, because just like you or I, our Sims can play games on their phone. So having a look at the phone here, we have entertainment up in the top left of the phone, and we can play games. So our sim will then stop playing on the computer. Oh, she likes video gaming. Yes. Nothing beats the feeling of crushing that final boss level. Whenever Natalie is gaming, Natalie is as one with the universe. Is it safe to say she likes video gaming? Yes, let's do that for her. Fantastic. And you'll see now she's pulled out her phone. We don't get to choose what she's playing, but she's playing the Sims version of Tetris, I suppose, which is called Blick Block. And she's just played a game on her phone. So if you don't have a computer, but you still want to learn learn the gaming skill, it's probably going to take a little bit longer on the phone because they'll eventually stop doing it. Whereas on the computer, they will keep going until you tell them to stop. But it is an option that is free if you can't afford a computer. But another way that we can gain the video gaming skill is through this little tablet. It's called the Slablet, and it is essentially kind of like a computer. We can do some things that are available to be done on a computer. Things like reading an ebook, browsing the web, watching a gaming live stream, or playing a game. So we can play Blick Block Tap or play Incredible Sports Tap. We're going to play Blick Block Tap. No worries, we've just seen her play Blick Block on her phone. Let's watch her play it on the tablet. Alright, so here we are. She's playing Blick Block Tap, which is the same game she was playing on her phone on the tablet. Fantastic. Look at her playing that game. It is, as we can see, gaining the video gaming skill, and the skill is being boosted by the focused mood, which is fantastic. But there's still more ways to gain the video gaming skill. So you know how we've got VR? The Sims kind of has VR. I suppose it's like their version of VR. It's not entirely the same though. You don't put on a headset. We have this thing. This thing is called the Motion Gaming Rig. We can only play Blick Block because we've only got level 1 of the gaming skill. I'm not even going to explain it. I'm just going to play it and I'm going to show you. So the game happens all around her. Like in VR, the game is happening all around her. She's just not wearing a headset. This is the most expensive option, aside from like the most expensive computers, but this is, I think this is 2,500 simoleons, so it's a lot. But it's really cool, isn't it? And like I said, the higher our video gaming skill gets, the more games are unlocked. You can end up playing like some pretty intense games in here, and watching them actually happen in this kind of surrounding, this kind of setting is really interesting. And of course, we do have Video Gaming Volume 1, Video Gaming Volume 2, and Video Gaming Volume 3 available for purchase through the bookshelf. The next skill we're going to be looking at also requires the computer. So we're going to have Natalie come back to the computer. We're going to have a look at the programming skills. So we've got practice programming here. Programming can lead to all sorts of things, but along the way, you can also do other things to gain money, like modding things. You can even like create viruses. You can hack into things. It gets a little bit sketchy. But you can also do things in the end like making an app, which is really cool, or a mobile game, which is also just really freaking cool. So here we are, she's sitting on the computer, she's doing some programming stuff, which is way above my head. She has got this little keyboard key as the symbol for the programming skill, and you can see it is being boosted by the focused mood. Yeah, okay, so here it says programming is done on the computer. Increasing this skill will allow Sims to create plugins, which can also get you money, I think. Games, they can create games, mods, and mobile phone apps. Sims will also be able to hack on the computer. So they can hack to get money, they can make viruses to get money, they can create phone apps to get money, they can make plugins to get money, mods, all sorts of stuff. It's really, really exciting. So Natalie's new skill in programming will allow her to hack and practice programming. The higher the level of the skill, the more hacking opportunities will emerge. It's very interesting. If you do end up making an app or a mobile game, much like publishing a book or writing a song, you'll receive daily royalties for the app or game for a couple of sim weeks. And of course, we do have Programming Volume 1, Programming Volume 2, and Programming Volume 3 to be purchased from the bookshelf. The last skill that we're going to learn using the focused mood to boost it is actually one that's really interesting. It is the rocket science skill. So in the Sims base game, we do have the astronaut career as an option. Being an astronaut, very cool. Eventually in the astronaut career, you'll get asked to build a rocket. To do that, we have this very special kit here, which we're going to use to build a rocket, which will go towards getting the rocket science skill. So if we click on here, it does cost 1,000 simoleons to build this rocket, which we do have, thankfully. So let's come and do this. And it's going to create this very fancy scaffolding here with a crane and stuff. And here she is. She's working away on it with her wrench spanner. I don't know what it is, okay? I just don't know what it is. I know that that's a blowtorch, though. That I do know, okay? But you can see up the top here, she does have the little rocket icon, which shows us that it is the rocket science skill that she's gaining, and the purple haze around the skill level bar there shows us that it is the focused mood that is boosting the rocket science skill. So it does take a long time to build a rocket. It's not something that can be done very quickly. But we do have the rocket science skill here. She can now build rockets, upgrade landing stabilizers, and explore space. Well, we've reached level 2 of the rocket science skill. She can build and upgrade faster, which would be fantastic because we haven't even reached the second stage of building the rocket yet, and she's very tired. There we go. We've reached the second stage, finally. So the scaffolding has changed. We're up to the 3rd level of the rocket, finally. It's been like 24 hours since I last checked in with you almost, and we still haven't finished building this rocket. Oh, would you look at that? The rocket is finally being built. The final touches are being put on it right now. When I tell you, it has been forever. But she's decided that she likes rocket science. That's how much rocket science she has been doing in the focused mood. So let's just have a look at the rocket science skill really quick. We are at level 5. We got to level 5, 26% of level 5 just by building the rocket. But once the rocket is built, there is more that we can do to continue gaining the rocket science skill. We can upgrade the rocket to have more pieces be put into it to make it a better rocket. We can also explore space. We can woohoo and try for baby in the rocket ship as well. I don't think they go towards the rocket science skill. Maybe they do. I don't know. But we're going to explore space right now because we freaking can. I should just save this game really quickly. So let me just save. And Natalie is going to go into space. I bet you didn't think we were going to be going to space in this video, but here we freaking are. In she goes. We're at 26% right now as the rocket takes off. Wow. We can see that above the pad, we do have the rocket science icon here, the purple haze around the skill bar, showing us that the rocket science skill is still being gained. And she's lost in a nebula. Natalie's instruments go haywire and her rocket ship is bathed in purple light. Or is it in a focused mood? I don't know. Anyway, purple and gold dust coats the sky as far as the eye can see, which isn't that far. She must have drifted into a giant nebula. Natalie can send out a call for help or forge ahead and hope the instruments can sort it out. I think maybe we should send a distress call. A ship of nebulous intentions. I've seen this message before and I think I know what's coming. Anyway, someone picks up Natalie's distress call and claims to be nearby. In minutes, a large rundown looking fighter emerges from the nebula's glow. Follow us, Buttercup. A low reptilian voice says over the comm. Does Natalie follow? I'm gonna say follow. Let's see. It was space pirates! I should have freaking known! Anyway, the reptilians guide Natalie out of the nebula, but then come around to board her rocket. 2 towering iguanoids pry open the hatch and rummage through her things. Apparently, Natalie doesn't have anything of value to them. They smash some panels and leave Natalie to her broken devices. I think we're gonna crash. Struggle home. Are we gonna crash right now? Because then we'd have to fix the rocket, although that would work on our rocket science skill. When I tell you that it actually scared the crap out of me, oh my god, the sound of it coming down scared me. Anyway, Natalie made a crash landing from space, but any landing you can walk away from. So we could rebuild it, which would cost another 1,000 simoleons and would then gain more rocket science skill. But if you can't be bothered spending that much time building a rocket, we do have the Rocket Science Volume 1, Rocket Science Volume 2, and Rocket Science Volume 3 books available for purchase in the bookshelf. So with that being said, I know this video has probably been super long, but I have 3 skills left to show you for the base game. So we are going to focus on Leon for a minute because we've been focusing on Natalie for a bit. So I'm going to need to get him into a playful mood because the next 2 skills we're going to be looking at are boosted by a playful mood. So there's multiple ways that we can do this and I'm actually going to do them with you. So the first thing we can do is have Leon come and watch a channel and watch comedy, which is actually the first skill we are going to focus on is the comedy skill. So funny shows can make Sims playful and just by watching the comedy channel on TV, he's going to gain the comedy skill, which is what we're going to be focusing on for the minute. So So here we go. He's turned on a late night talk show. It's totally fine. And he's gaining the comedy skill, as we can see by the microphone icon here. And because he doesn't have the playful mood yet, the comedy skill is not being boosted. Here we go. So now he's just got the playful moodlet, which says hilarious show from watching TV. This comedy channel is hilarious. So now that he's in a playful moodlet, you can see we have this purple, which is slightly different to the focused moods purple, glow around the bar, which does indicate that the comedy skill is being boosted. But now that we have that moodlet, if we cancel out of watching the TV, we do still have the moodlet here for 3 hours. The other way of gaining a playful moodlet really easily is by going to the computer. We've got more options, we've got web, and we can then watch funny videos on Sim TV, and watching funny videos will also gain a playful moodlet. But while we are here at the computer, we can get Leon to come and write some jokes on the computer, which will gain his comedy skill. Kind of like the writing skill, is the same animation, but he is writing jokes because we can see he's got the comedy skill icon above his head, and we do have the purple glow indicating that the playful mood is boosting this comedy skill. The other way that we can gain the comedy skill is with this microphone here. It looks very fancy. I kind of don't like it, actually. I never have. We did get a more normal looking microphone stand in a later pack. I just don't like this one. It's just wacky, okay? It's The Sims 4 being wacky once again, okay? But we love it for that. We love the wackiness. I just don't particularly like this one. But if we click on this one, we can tell jokes. As we can see, it's got this little pinky kind of purple, kind of fuchsia pink little slither there, which tells us that it will gain the comedy skill and it is being impacted by the playful mood. And he's just going to kind of stand here and talk into the microphone because that's him practicing a stand-up routine. It's totally fine. We can see that it is indeed gaining the comedy skill, being boosted by the playful mood. So then, of course, we do have Comedy Volume 1, Comedy Volume 2, and Comedy Volume 3 available to purchase from the bookshelf. The other skill that we can use the playful mood to boost is the Mischief Skill. Now, the Mischief Skill is an interesting one. I find the best way to gain the Mischief Skill is actually by interacting with other Sims, right? So if we come to where Natalie is for a second, she's over here by this cherry tree. If I click on her, we have this option of mischief here, and we can do any of the options that we can see here that will gain the mischief skill. And these are just the things that we can do off the bat. Like, the higher our mischief skill gets, the more options we're gonna have. We can also do some pranks like scaring her, slapping her silly, which we can do only when we're in this playful mood. And the last thing we can do is trick with a hand buzzer. So I'm going to line all of these things up. We're going to do these things and see how much mischief skill we're going to get. Oh, she doesn't like it, which is interesting. So this is the only bad thing about doing the mischief interactions with other Sims, right? Is sometimes the other Sims you're doing them with, they might not like these interactions, and it can have a negative impact on your Sim's relationship. And you can see the icon for the Mischief Skill is this Jester's hat. Okay, she's not liking any of these, so I think I'm going to stop doing the mischief interactions. We're going to get Leon back into a playful mood. I should be able to do that now by coming and watching some funny videos. The unfortunate thing for Natalie is we kind of need to do more mischief interactions until we get to level 2 of the mischief skill, because once we get to level 2 of the mischief skill, then we have an option on the computer that can further gain our mischief skill. So she's got to put up with a little bit more. I'm really sorry. Maybe we can trick her with a hand buzzer. Maybe we can scare her. We'll see how we go. I'm really sorry, Natalie.
Arvin.
I mean, at least she laughed at that one, right? She liked it. Okay. But you can see by doing these interactions, oh, we're embarrassed again. Oh no, you can see it does have the Jester's hat icon here. We did have a purple glow around the bar before, but now he's embarrassed again. So I do have a feeling that Natalie may have not liked a lot of these social interactions more than normal because she herself was feeling dazed after the rocket ship crash. If I had done these same interactions while Natalie was feeling happy, I think we would have seen different reactions from her. Remember that socializing in The Sims, just like real life, is a double-sided situation. It takes two to socialize, and both of our Sims being in a good mood would have the best reactions. When we did the trick with hand buzzer with Natalie, her mood had changed from feeling dazed to feeling fine, which is why her reaction was more positive. But there we go, reached Mischief level 2. Leon can now use the claim to be criminal mastermind and instill with false confidence interactions, which are both social interactions. So the social interactions are really the way to get started. But once we get to level 2, if we come back to our computer and we come to the socialize tab, we can now troll the forums, which will also gain the Mischief skill. So here he is, you can see we do have the Jester's hat here, we have the purple haze around the skill bar to let us know that he is in fact gaining the Mischief skill. And of course we do have Mischief Volume 1, Mischief Volume 2 and Mischief Volume 3 available for purchase from the bookshelf. Alright, the very last skill that I'm going to be showing you in this video, I'm again going to head out to a lot in the world. You can do this skill at home, but there's also a perfectly good community lot that's available for use if you perhaps can't afford the equipment that we're going to need to be able to do this at home. So here we are in our map, we're going to head to the gym because the very last skill I'm going to show you in this video is the fitness skill. We've got the Burners and Builders gym here in Oasis Springs, but if you're playing in Willow Creek, there's also a gym in Willow Creek as well. Alright, here we are at Burners and Builders Gym. Now before we even get started, I'm going to need to get Natalie in the right mood to effectively boost the fitness skill. So in order to do that, I'm going to get her to take a shower. We want her to be in an energized mood. So by clicking on the shower, we have the option to take a brisk shower, which says taking a brisk shower can get Sims energized. So come and take a shower, my girl, and then we can get started with all the good things. Beautiful. So now she's standing here in a towel, but she is energized from having a brisk shower. A quick shower can be super refreshing. So now that she is energized, there's multiple ways that we can get her to gain the fitness skill. You'll be seeing all of this exercise equipment here. We can use all of those things. But before that, we can even just have our sim go for a jog, right? I've just clicked on her. We have energized jog here. If I click on that, she's going to get changed into her athletic wear in a second. Maybe once she gets outside, beautiful, and now she's going for a jog, and she'll just jog around town. You can do this from home, so you can do this anywhere in the world, actually. So if your sim is in an energized mood, just click on your sim, have them jog, and they'll just go jogging around the immediate area. So you can see as she's running here, she does have the strong arm above her. We have this like white around the edge of the skill bar, which does show that it is being boosted by the energized moodlet. But if you want her to actually use some exercise equipment, we do have the gym here. So you can come to the gym with your sim, or you can purchase any of the equipment you are seeing here in your home. Is that Bella Goth? Bella Goth, who is heavily pregnant? Okay, she's been busy while we've been filming this video, apparently. That's interesting. There's going to be another Goth baby. It's all good. Anyway, like I said, all this equipment here you can buy for your home if you would like, or the gym is free to use if you would like as well. So we do have this little punching bag. We can do an energized practice of that. There we go. Good try, my girl. So as she's doing that, you can see we do have the strong arm icon once again and the white highlight around the skill bar to show us that it is the fitness skill that is being gained. We do also have these weight machines, energized workout. It's interesting. And like I said, we only have the option to do energized workouts at the moment because our fitness skill is so low. I think there's like endurance workouts or specialty focused kinds of workouts that you can unlock with the higher levels of the fitness skill. But as you can see, she does have the fitness strong arm. She's talking to Bella Goth now. That was gaining the fitness skill for her. We do have a treadmill available though. So interestingly, she has got this moodlet down here to say good workout. A good workout always boosts the spirits from working out. It lasts for 4 hours. If our sim was not feeling energized, she probably wouldn't be advised to work out anymore, because if she were to work out anymore with that moodlet, it would lead her to having sore muscles. But because she is feeling energized, we can continue working out. Like it says here, energized workout, push the limits. I still wouldn't recommend doing this for too much longer because it is going to eventually give her fatigue and sore muscles anyway. So we don't want to do it for too much longer, but if you just want to go for a little bit longer, oh, well, we can't anyway because Dina Caliente decided to steal the last treadmill. It's fine. So that is the gym. That is all of the exercise equipment that we have at the gym. The next way to gain the fitness skill is by swimming in a swimming pool. Now, when The Sims 4 was first released, swimming pools were not available, which is why there are no swimming pools at the base game gyms. I'm pretty sure all of the gyms that have come with packs released after swimming pools were included in the game have a pool. So if you have any other packs that come with a world that has a gym, you can go swimming in that pool to work on your fitness. However, in this video, I'm only using the base game. So to raise your fitness skill by swimming in a pool, you'll probably need to build a pool on your home lot, or if you're feeling crafty, maybe you could build your own swimming pool community lot that your Sims can visit. So by swimming laps, you can see we do have the strong arm icon above our sim, and while in an energized mood, we have the white glow around the skill bar to show our fitness skill is being boosted. And then, of course, we do have the Fitness Volume 1, Fitness Volume 2, and Fitness Volume 3 books available for purchase from the bookshelf. One last thing I need to mention is that if your sim has the active personality trait, they will likely become energized on their own and even have their own fitness-related social interactions or abilities in gaining the fitness skill. Our sim's personality traits can definitely impact our sim's moods. If you'd like to know more about which personality traits may inspire the moods I mentioned in this video, jump into Create-a-Sim and read the details of all of the base game traits. I mentioned before we had the focusing decor items. There's some pictures that you can get, or there's some like sculptures that you can get that will have a focusing decor. You can also, if you're a painter and you have the easel, you can paint emotional paintings. So say our sim is in a focused mood and we got them to paint a focused painting, it'd be a mathematical diagram. You can hang that painting in your house and enable the aura on it to then have a focused mood come from that painting to help inspire a focused mood for your sims. Or if you did a confident painting, you could do the same thing to help your sims get in a confident mood. So there's other ways to help inspire those specific moods for your sims as well. But you guys, that's all I've got for this video of The Sims 4 for beginners. I know it was a super long one, it was a different one to all the others so far, and I hope that it was very helpful and informative for you. With that being said, if you'd like to see more of me, more of The Sims 4 for beginners, because I've still got more videos coming your way on how to raise kids, on the different collections, on the cheats that are available in the game, even maybe downloading some custom content. That would be interesting. So if you'd like to see any of that, or any other Sims content that I've got coming your way, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell next to it to be notified of every time that I upload. And if you liked this video, let me know by hitting the like button down below and leave me a comment as well. And with that being said, let me know if you have any questions on gaining skills in The Sims 4, and if there's any of my fellow Simmers that are professional Sims players, if you know of any little informative tidbits that I left out in this video of other ways to gain the skills I mentioned in this video, leave them in the comments down below as well, and maybe help me answer some questions too if there are any. But with that being said, you guys, I hope you're having the greatest day ever, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!